Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I'm making this video in response to Aukot's tweet about the opening of the servers. First, I would like to say that it's unfortunate that Aukot, who I believe is a smart person, a smart man, could tweet something like this because it highlights what's fundamentally is wrong with the majority of the people who are asking for these servers to be open. Now, let me also mention this. I see a lot of vloggers making this point, asking for the servers to be open, asking Ruto to open the servers, as the Azimio side are doing. And I also maintain the same position. There are two types of people in this discussion, or rather three. Two of them, the proponents of which are for the servers to be open. One, the people who don't understand how the electoral process is conducted. And two, the people who understand how the electoral process works as it relates to the justice system as the petition was brought to the Supreme Court, but choose to mislead the ignorant ones, in a way to make them go out there and strike and demonstrate. Well, it's their right to demonstrate, but it's unfortunate if you're going to the streets and have to deal with tear gas and the police for something that you don't understand how it works. Now, let's get to this servers thing. Some facts we need to establish before we get to this. Number one, the role of IEBC. IEBC is Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. They are usually tasked with the duty, responsibility of conducting an election. And for this past election that happened in August, they hired Smartmatic, a company. The company originally was founded in Venezuela by a Venezuelan guy, okay? So Smartmatic, IEBC were using Smartmatic's machines and also one of their servers, okay? Now, just to make it clear again, IEBC is an independent body. It is not controlled by President Ruto. It is not controlled by Raila Odinga. It is an independent body by itself. So for those people who say Ruto should open the servers, that's a misplaced request, because Ruto is not responsible for keeping any records that pertains to the votes that were casted during the elections, or any information that pertains to the elections, whether it's in 2022, 2017, 2007, so forth. Ruto has nothing to do with it. He does not have the power to open those servers. Okay? He does not. Ruto is part of the executive branch of the government. But he cannot go in and say, open the servers, and the servers will be open. The servers are owned by Smartmatic. So anyway, so there's calls to open the server, yeah? Let's get back to the Supreme Court. What really happened in the Supreme Court? You saw that tweet by Aukot, and Cheriot, he replied and said that during the petition, the Azimio side were given the opportunity to choose the servers that they wanted accessing in relation to checking, auditing the votes, the information that was there vis-a-vis the information that were on Form 34A. Okay? They did check it, and there was no discrepancies found in the Form 34A and the information that was posted on the server. Now, let me break it down. The electoral process. This is how it works and how the presidential elections are announced and how they are determined. In a case, I forgot his name, the Supreme Court case, they decided that according to their constitution, the presidential election results shall be determined at the polling station. Okay? How many polling stations do we have in Kenya? You do the math. Okay? For each and every polling station across the nation, there were 2 agents, international observers too, that verified the votes as they were casted. They've counted, verified, and corrected any mistakes or errors that exist. And both the agents signed the form 34A, which that had the presidential results. And after signing that, the physical copy, of course, they probably made a copy for themselves just for record keeping. Then they gave it to an IEBC agent who took the physical form with him to KICC, where the Chebukati, the chairman, would announce the result from that polling station. And even before they took it to the Chebukati, once it was verified and signed by both Azimio Agency and Kenya Kwanza Agency and the International Observer, they will enter that information in the portal to be stored in the server. And you remember, there was a portal that was available during elections. So anyone will be able to get into the portal and see the live results as they were entered in the system. Okay? So during elections, if you were to log into that portal, IEBC portal, if I was living in Kasarani, if I wanted to find out what's going on in Eldoret, in all the poll station in Eldoret, I could simply go to under Eldoret or Wasangishu district or whatever the case is, county, and see who got what, how many votes Ruto got, and how many votes Raila got in real time. Okay? So, what I'm saying is this. The reason why there's no such need for a server is this. If Azimio want to ascertain the truth that pertains to who really won the elections, all they have to do, the responsibility is on IEBC. IEBC are storing the original forms that were recorded in every poll station in the country. So all they have to do is go to IEBC and ask for the original copy, then tally up all the constituency, all the polling stations across the nation, and add them up, tally them up. And once they do that, compare it with what Chebukati announced on that day that he did announce the election results. See if it matches up with what you're doing, because that's how because that's the whole. It's about verification of what happened. That's why you saw when they were asked that question at the Supreme Court, because the server is just a storing thing. It's like I have the results and I enter it in my computer. Okay? I have the original results with me. So even if my computer is taken by somebody else or get lost or is hacked or whatever the case, I still have the original copies with me. So if you want to find out who won, go find the original copies, which are the Form 34As that were signed with both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza agents. Add them all up and compare them. Juxtapose that information with what Chebukati said, and we can settle this whole thing about servers. You don't need the servers to do this. And I will play a clip here from Spice FM when he asked this Azimio guy, hey, why need the server while you can go to the original Forms 34A, add up from the polling station, add them up, and tell who won the election. So like I said, it's a cheeky way by the Azimio folks to cast doubt, prey on the ignorance of their supporters, to create this impression that Ruto does not want to open the server, while the fact is Ruto has absolutely no authority to open the servers. If they want to get the results, they should go ask IEBC. Smartmatic already said that they cannot open the servers because it's a security issue, and they do so by pleading intellectual property rights, which they are right. Okay, and also they referred back to IEBC and said, if you guys want the copies, the original copies that were needed, you go back to check with your IEBC. You don't need our servers to do that. And they were right. Now, in the question of the audits that were taken, that were done by the courts, the court cannot order an audit of every server or every voting machines across the nation. They only take a sample. Even in Maricopa County in the US, Arizona, the court, the Senate actually ordered this. And usually they take a sample and they say if it's more than 10%, if there's more than 10% of error, then that's a reason for a total total forensic audit to be conducted, okay? But if it's less than 10%, most likely there's no need of redoing the whole thing because it shows that it is quite accurate. That's why they do that. Regarding the Venezuelans that were arrested, that we never had anything after that, these were people who worked for Smartmatic. We don't know. I don't know what happened to them, but what I can assume is since Smartmatic is a Venezuelan company, that's where they started, along with another company called Dominion. Of course, maybe they had their own agency that were trying to come in the country to make sure the machines were acting right or something like that. But we were never told what happened with that case. So I don't know. But yeah, this is a response to the Lee McQueen video. I just wanted to rebuttal that. Again, your argument is kind of misplaced. I don't know if you're doing it out of ignorance or you're actively trying to mislead people. Because what I've realized is most people do not understand why the servers are not needed. And they don't understand that Ruto has no power to open the servers. Okay? It's not up to him to open the servers. Anyway, watch this video and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. This is Fabrizio Romano, aka Revolutionary. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.
Winner was a physical result. Is that not true?
Yes.
And at that point, when the result was being declared,
yes,
the form that was the collating all the results was a physical form. The same thing was happening for all the six seats. Even the presidential result at the constituency level was a physical form.
Yes.
Chebukati and all the commissioners waited for the physical human beings to take a physical form to bomb us.
Yes.
And Chebukati and all the commissioners said, yes, that it is those physical forms that they relied on to announce the result. So why the server?
You see, the counting of these votes for members of parliament or MCAs and women rep and senators, it's not the same way the way they're counting for the presidential votes. You see, the presidential votes are very crucial in such a way that when they are being forwarded from the counties, it's not the physical form